Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Angela Anderson Show, where we are helping moms live their dream while taking care of their family. I am your host, Angela Anderson. I'm so excited that you are here with me today. And I just want to talk to you a little bit about why I created this show. This show is actually the result of a virtual summit that I hosted last summer of 2022. And for those of you who were there with me during this summit, it was a virtual summit called Get Your Life on Track, Walk in Your Purpose. And the focus was on mothers who wanted to identify their purpose and live it fully, again, while taking care of their family. So for 14 days, I interviewed speakers, influencers, and all of these people shared information and great tips that assisted mothers in finding their purpose, pursuing their goals, and living their dream, all while taking care of their family. There was such a popular demand for this, so I created this talk show, The Angela Anderson Show, where I will continue to empower moms to see their value, understand their importance, and reclaim their identity. So here we are with this show, and I have an interesting topic for you today that I want to share. And the topic is performance evaluations. Performance evaluations seems like a very basic topic, but I'll go into it a little bit more right after our commercial.
Someone once said that life is a journey. Every now and then I convince myself that I have it all figured out. All of a sudden, life throws me a curveball and I find myself between a rock and a hard place. Through it all, the pervading theme is that God is constantly pursuing me. Just when I thought I knew God, He reveals Himself to me in a different way. I now realize that His purpose is to achieve a deeper level of intimacy with me, no matter what it takes. His main concern is the end result, which is to live with Him in eternity. He loves me that much, and the same holds true for you.
All right. And that is my devotional book that I would love for you to get your hands on if you haven't already gotten yourself a copy. It's available on Amazon.com, and it's also available in Kindle format. Just When I Thought I Knew God, 40-day devotional. But we are back here on the show. And as I said before, what I want to talk to you about is performance evaluations. For those of you who've been watching the show, you know a little bit about me already. I spent a lot of years in the field of human resources. That's my profession. I am a professional human resources um, person, if you want to call it that, or just human resources professional. And in the various areas that I've worked, there's one thing that I used to do, and I would train managers on how to conduct an effective performance evaluation. Some companies call them performance reviews, performance appraisals, but it's basically the same thing. And there's a way to do it so that way you are effectively bringing along the employee, right? And for those of you who are not familiar with performance evaluations, basically what it is, it's where the manager evaluates the performance of the employee. It's that simple, and they talk about things. They identify strengths of the employees, areas of development that I like to call. Some people call them weaknesses, but I call them areas of development. What else? They talk about um, there's feedback that's offered, and sometimes the feedback's good, sometimes it's not, but feedback is necessary. And at the end, there are goals that are set, and the purpose of those goals is just so that there's something to work toward for the future. So, um, what I've noticed, if a company spends the time and resources on effective performance evaluations, it will be a healthy work environment. And the purpose of that is to foster a good relationship between managers and employees. And the employees will want to be there. They'll want to be at this company. They'll want to put in their time and effort to work, to improve themselves, and to grow. The objective is growth. Keep that in mind. There are some times when the employees will do self evaluations. And what they'll do is they'll sit down and just um, jot down a few things. Again, same thing, areas of development, strengths, their performance overall, some goals that they want, and then they'll take that information and bring it to the performance evaluation so that they can discuss it with the manager and again go through this process with the goal in mind of growth. And so, what I want to propose today, as I'm thinking about this, how I used to train managers, this also applies to us as moms, right? I believe that we should do performance evaluations. We should do self evaluations. Now, some companies do them annually, quarterly, monthly. Um, if you ask me, and this is something that I would always tell managers, it should be consistently done. So it's ongoing. Yes, you might have like an annual performance review, but performance should be evaluated on a consistent and ongoing basis because, again, the objective is growth. And at no time should the employee be surprised of how they're doing. They shouldn't walk into the office one day and say, "Oh, I had no idea I wasn't doing well," or "I had no idea you felt so strongly that you thought I was great." Because if the lines of communication are open between the manager and the employee, there are no surprises. Again, everything works in harmony. Of course, there's no such thing as a perfect workplace, but right, you want to make sure that it runs smoothly. And in the same manner, consistently, we should be evaluating ourselves, our performance. How are we doing as a mom? How are we doing as a person? And this will allow us to be successful and fulfilled in life as a mom, right? I said in the beginning that's my motto, right? Helping moms live their dream, giving them tools to allow them to achieve this and to be successful and fulfilled. So this is all part of it, the performance process. So how do we do this? Um, Journaling. I would say journaling is a good way to start to write things down, jot things down. For those of us who are not writers, and again, I'm a writer, so I'm always going to say journal, journal, journal. And I did that in the last episode too, if you remember. If you're not into journaling, here's another suggestion. Sometimes, if you have a smartphone, you just speak your mind into your smartphone and then it transcribes. It's like speak to text and it puts it in one of these note apps. I use Google Keep, I also use Evernote. But once you put all your thoughts down and clear your mind, it actually not only helps you feel better, but you have it right in front of you in terms of your own self evaluation or you're pinpointing areas that need to improve or you're pinpointing areas that you're good at, right? Performance evaluations don't always have to be bad. Sometimes they're good, but the point is that it all has to be laid out on the table. So you have to be specific. Again, these are some of um, the points that I would discuss while training managers. And now again, I'm turning it inward on us, on as moms. Be specific with the feedback. Be honest with yourself. And that's how you get to the root of it, right? Um, you can't be, um, you can't soften the difficult information, right? Be straightforward. And sometimes that information is difficult. Sometimes it's not what we want to hear about ourselves, but we have to be constructive and not destructive. There's a such thing as constructive criticism. We've all heard this. And I propose that there is also destructive criticism. It's the motive behind it. Constructive criticism, you want to build up, right? Destructive, you're tearing down. So remember, I said we're talking about growth here. We're talking about growth. So don't soften it, but be constructive with the criticism. And so, what does that look like? It could be anything. It could be parenting skills. How am I doing as a mom parenting my kids in terms of discipline? Too much discipline? Too little discipline? What about um, anger management? Some of us need anger management. Um, you know, a lot of times we behave in a way where we don't really understand why or how we're behaving. Are we always angry at our kids? But who are we really angry with? Are we angry with them? Or are we angry with something else that happened earlier on in the day? Or are we angry at a situation? Or is it possible that we see some traits of ourselves in our kids and that makes us angry? Ooh, but I digress. So, what are some other things that we can evaluate? Maybe meal prep, maybe some of the food choices for our children and for our family. Some of the things that we can do that are more efficient, maybe the timing of the meal and um, things of that nature. So just dump it all out on paper or speak it all so that way you are looking at everything with the objective again of improving and getting better at what you're doing. Um, and really you want to talk about how you are not just as a mom, but also as a person and also as just a woman. You know, are you unpleasant to be around? Are you miserable a lot? Um, and maybe it's not even that time of the month and you're just miserable and you have to figure out what exactly is making you miserable. Why are you miserable? What are you happy with? What are you unhappy with? um, but have examples of things that are that make you happy or things that are excellent, right? And ask others, ask the people you live with, whether it's your spouse, your children. And I will tell you this: be careful asking your children. And again, it's going to depend on the age. The younger they are, their answer can be anything. I'm thinking about my 5-year-old who has no filter. He's just going to tell you like it is. He might say one day, "Mommy, you're the greatest mommy ever. Mommy, I love you." And then 10 minutes later, "Mommy, you're mean." You know, because I didn't let him have cookies for breakfast, so I'm mean. You know, so again, as you're asking the people that you live with, whether it's your children or your spouse, keep that in mind and be ready for the feedback. Um, if you preface it by saying, hey, I'm trying to grow, I'm trying to improve. So what are some of the things or what are some of the ways in which I can improve in XYZ area? So pose it like that and then take that feedback and do something with that feedback, right? Um, whether it's setting your goals, and that's brings me to my next point. You definitely want to do that. Some of the things that I do when I write down my goals, it's not just personal goals, right? Um, it's where I want to see. my family, some of the things I want to do with my family. So write that down and include that in your goals. For instance, for those of you who are connected with me on social media, you'll see posts and reels about my little adventures with my family. We might go to a park and on a Sunday, or just enjoy ourselves on a Saturday afternoon. But the point of the matter is that we're spending quality time. So one of my goals is to have um, outings with my family, whether it's once a week, and maybe have like a family vacation, whether it's yearly, and depending on the vacation, you can do like a staycation or something small, something inexpensive, if that's an issue. And again, it's just the point of spending time together. You can even do a family game night, and that can be so much fun for everyone involved. You just find something that is age appropriate, or something where all of you can just have fun, where you are sitting in front of each other, um, and spending time with each other, and put that down as a goal, part of the performance evaluation. Um, I want to spend time with my family more frequently, and then be specific. Again, is it weekly? Is it twice a month? Is it quarterly? And so on and so forth. And then it's, what do you want to be as a person? What type of mom do you want to be? A mom that is approachable, a mom who listens, a mom who is available. Maybe you are that mom already, and that's wonderful, but there are always areas of improvement. What type of woman do you want to be? Do you want to be a woman who is um, successful in the home and outside of the home, in her business, in her work? Um, you have to write all of these things down, and then write some things on how to be that woman, how to be that mom. How do you achieve all of these things? So it's, you're setting the goal, and then you are writing down ways to achieve that goal. So again, all of us can use some improvement in the different areas in our lives, and just work toward that, right? And again, we're not being destructive, we're being constructive as we are doing this. And one of the other things that I want to mention here, and this is something that I thought of. There is a um, in the realm of performance reviews, there are do's and don'ts, and one of the don'ts, do not do, as I train the managers, there's something out there called a halo horn effect. Halo effect, horn effect. And let me explain to you what this is. The halo effect is this: the employee, what you do when you sit down with the employee, you focus on one stellar moment that they've done. Maybe they excel at communication, or maybe they've done this project that is just so amazing. But the problem is, you were taking that one thing and you're basing the review off of that one thing, and you're just like, you know what, this person can do no wrong. Boom. Everything is just wonderful because they completed this one thing, right? The other side of that is the horn effect, right? If you get the notion here, halo, angel, horn, devil, good, bad. So the horn effect is just the opposite. You take that one thing that the employee did that either was just so oof, reprehensible, or just an error, or something that really got on your nerves, and then you just base their whole review on that one thing, which is not the right thing to do, because it's not fair, it's not equitable. You're not giving that person a chance, really. So if we do the halo horn effect, and apply it to our evaluations of ourselves, performance evaluations, a lot of times when I talk to moms, we tend to do the horn effect. We tend to do the horn effect. We say to ourselves, oh my goodness, I'm such a bad mom because I didn't fill in the blank. Oh my goodness, mom, failure, the event at school, and I did not bring their whatever, fill in the blank. Oh, I was late with this, and oh my goodness, I've completely forgot altogether. And then you're just feeling so sorry and so horrible because there was one thing that you missed, or one thing that was just monumental. You made your kid cry and you're just feeling horrible about it. I will tell you this, that one event, and I'm talking to myself too, is not indicative of you as a mother, as a person, as a woman, as a human being. Stop beating yourself up. We talked about the difference between constructive criticism and destructive criticism. So you can't base your whole being on this one thing where you that made you feel like a failure, right? It's just a feeling, and it's not the truth, right? And it does not define who you are as a person. Give yourself a little bit of grace, because think about it, as a mom, we have so many things going on at any given time. And we talked about that part in a different episode, but I just want to encourage you that you're doing a great job because you're doing the best that you can, and just keep up the good work. Continue to evaluate where you are in life, again, as a person, as a woman, as a mom. Pinpoint those things and just improve on those things. Don't be so hard on yourself. Give yourself a little bit of grace. And you'll notice that when you change your mindset, when you change the way you think about yourself and start telling yourself the truth, which is how much, how good you really are. And I'm saying that truthfully. To be a mom and to do all the things that you're doing a great job. So just continue doing those things. So, some of you may not be aware that um, I coach moms to, again, achieve their goals, find their purpose, and live their dream while taking care of their families. And maybe you need a coach, um, a mom life coach. And if that is the case, call me, or I should say, message me, but go to www.chatwithcoachangela.com. And that's what I meant by call me. This would be calling out to me, and it would be scheduling a free consultation. And we can talk about where you are in life, where you are, where you want to be. And I can get you there. And again, I use some of the tools, some of the same tools that I've used in the realm of human resources. It just applies so effectively because, again, we're managing people, we're managing ourselves, we're managing moms. And again, it's just a lot of managing that we do. So, congratulate yourself. If you like what you've heard today, and if you like what you have been hearing on The Angela Anderson Show, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's at The Angela Anderson Show. Once you hit the subscribe button, you'll be notified when the next show will be on, upcoming shows. I told you I made that adjustment in YouTube, so now when you go to the home page, you'll see it. All of the shows in the past and any upcoming shows that will be available to you. And I'm available on Spotify. So if you have Spotify, Just look up The Angela Anderson Show, hit the follow button, and then you'll be notified as soon as the audio version is available to you. Spotify came up with the video version too, so I'm going to do that the next season. But for now, I just want to say thank you so much for being with me here on The Angela Anderson Show. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from it rather. Like it, share it. I'm here for you. Until next time, take good care.